Hello, everyone, and welcome to today's NinjaTrader ecosystem event, Scalping Strategy, Scalping Into and Out of Trades. My name is Patrick Hodges, and I am a NinjaTrader ecosystem vendor relations representative. Before we start here today, I do have a few housekeeping notes for everyone. Secondly, this webinar is presented by NinjaTrader LLC, which is the technology company responsible for developing and supporting the NinjaTrader trading software. Brokerage-related questions should be directed to NinjaTrader Brokerage using the phone number or the email on screen. Lastly, if you are new to NinjaTrader, please make sure to sign up for a free NinjaTrader account, which includes access to 14 days of complimentary real-time market data. Our platform is always free for advanced charting, strategy backtesting, and trade simulation. You can create your free account, by following the link on the screen and then clicking the Get Started under the Welcome section. Now, before I turn the mic over to Will, it's important to understand that futures, foreign currency, and options trading contain substantial risk and is not suitable for every investor. It is possible to lose all or more than the initial investment. Risk capital is money that can be lost without jeopardizing one's financial security or lifestyle, and only risk capital should be used for trading. And only those with sufficient risk capital should consider trading. Past performance is not necessarily indicative of future results. Also, please remember that today's session is a training session and not a solicitation nor a recommendation, but simply educational in nature. I want to thank you all again for joining us here today, and thank you all for your patience as well. And without further ado, it's my pleasure to welcome to the NinjaTrader room, Will with Pure Financial Academy.
Hey, most excellent. Thank you so much. Excuse me. Thank you so much, Patrick. I really appreciate that. As always, I appreciate everything that you and the team at NinjaTrader do. So not only that, but I appreciate everyone being here, taking the time out of your day. I know that everyone's busy, so I'll try to get right to it. And yeah, so I mean, ultimately, well, you know what? I'm sorry. First and foremost, let me get my screen shared here. And let's go ahead and get you to that. So this makes sense as I'm talking, please. There we go. All right, very good. Hang in there for just 1 second, folks. I'm going to go ahead and apologize to you in advance. You know, our members have been just so amazing and understanding. A little bit of a just under the weather a little bit, so my energy may be a little bit lower than normal. But if you can just bear with me, I will do my absolute best to make it worth your while. Okay, so thank you for understanding in advance. All right, so here we go. What I was going to say is I appreciate that, you know, Patrick's really, you know, ultimately he's already gone through the disclaimer. A couple things I want to notate on top of that. I am not a licensed professional in the financial industry, so I don't want anything to be misconstrued, nor do I want to portray myself to be that. Okay, as he mentioned, trading contains substantial amounts of risk, not for everyone. This being for educational purposes only, and all considered hypothetical. Okay, so we'll go ahead and just kind of rock and roll here. I know if you all have any questions, I will absolutely do my best to get to those. In respect to the time, I'm gonna, you know, it's a very short amount of time, so I'm gonna try to get through the information as quickly as possible, and then I will answer all questions. And as we go through the slides, there will be a follow-up session. And I always encourage people to really take the time. It's just free. Just jump in there and we can spend all the time in the world, you know. I don't mean to exaggerate that one too far, but ultimately we can spend, you know, as much time as necessary to answer all questions. And when we get out to it, there's a 0% chance that I'm going to be able to get to, you know, even 10% of what I would love to express to you all as far as the features, functionality, strategy, you know, things to that extent. Okay, so yeah, it's just all a matter of time, right? We do it in time. Okay, here we go. So we've gotten through that. Let's go ahead and give you a little intro to PFA. We're an online community dedicated to what I would say supply and demand trading concepts, right? Let me just say this. Supply and demand trading concepts we've been doing this for over 14 years. Well, I guess as I go through this, you'll see we've been doing it since about 2009. But ultimately, we've been doing it a long time. And it almost feels like we should update this because supply and demand has become such a common terminology these days. And I've gotten, even recently, so many questions about supply and demand in general. Please understand that when we refer to supply and demand trading concepts, we are not referring to your very typical supply and demand level only trading. Okay. It goes, a million steps beyond that. We love supply and demand levels, not saying anything good or bad. I mean, obviously, you're going to see our software, semi automates them. So, but yeah, but at the end of the day, that's to some degree a minute part of what we do. Okay. So supply and demand to us has to do with ultimate order flow, which controls the market. Just wanted to throw that out there. It's not something that I typically talk about. Okay. So as I mentioned, we provided trading materials and software to individuals seeking to learn about trading since about 2009. It's been a very, very wonderful path along the way. We firmly believe in the power of having others there to support you who are on the same path as yourself, as well as us. Our mission is to provide a positive and effective environment for all types of traders. And that's why I wanted to, all types of traders, right? Kind of key term there, meaning not just, we don't want to limit supply and demand level traders or anything to that extent. Ultimately, we want to be across the board with traders and investors who wish to be a part of a trading community and share their experiences with others as a team. We have our contact information there. If you want to note that down, it is simply purefinancialacademy.com, the typical support email address, and then our phone number. And this will be on the recording if you want to contact us. Okay. Thank you so much. And we look forward to hearing from you. All right. So today we are going to be talking about trade management, specifically scalping strategy and scaling in and out of trades. Again, I apologize in advance if I cough or, what have you. There's a lot of information I'm going to get to. I'm just going to throw this at you from the very onset of this session. There are a couple things that I'm going to do. I'm going to throw some links at you. I would strongly encourage you, not really strongly encourage you, almost ask you, right? Humbly speaking, I'm asking of you, if you'll just take a moment. I'm not asking you to believe or any of that stuff of what we're going to talk about today. Just go take a look, get familiar. We would love for you to be a part of our community. It doesn't matter if it could be the free community, right? So it could literally be just going out and being part of our YouTube live streams. They don't cost you a dime. You get to see us trading in real time, etc. All this, there's a lot that we're going to cover. So I just wanted to throw that out there in advance so that you don't feel like I'm coming here trying to hit you with a major sales pitch or whatnot. Trust me when I tell you there's so much free information. And you know what, as a matter of fact, as I'm saying that out loud, I will throw, let me make sure this goes to everyone. Okay, I'm going to throw a video into the chat. Now, this is a recent video. As a matter of fact, so we have to, always comply. So I just want to be clear about that. But this video, we have permission to post in there. So we're going to go and post that one. It's just a video of, trading that we did just the other day. And if you follow around, if you just, kind of seek around the YouTube channel right there, we literally just posted our trades from today. You can follow along. You can kind of see that. These are things that we discuss in our live room in the morning session. We then follow through with them throughout the day, so on and so forth. Okay. All right. Very good, folks. Look, again, we want to build a positive experience for everyone, including ourselves. We love what we do and we want to love what we do for a very long time. Okay. So let's go ahead and get started with this. I'm going to first and foremost talk about our order suite trading software. Now, this is an advanced tool to make order management more efficient. I think I should just tell you, if you want to understand, maybe a lot of you know me. I mean, we've been doing this, like I said, since about 2009. So you probably have, if you haven't seen an event from us before, maybe you've even spoken, maybe we talked on the phone. I don't know, but I'd love to, by the way, if you want to give us a call. But here's what I want you to understand. When I'm going through this, just the tonality of my voice, if you can understand where I'm coming from as a person, I'm very passionate about this stuff. I would love to help as many people as I possibly can. So these tools, to be clear, are designed specifically for what we need. And I would love to say that we go out there and develop, a bunch of different indicators and tools and so on for just because people request them, but we absolutely don't. Okay. We do this because this is what we need. And having said that, if you follow us for just a little bit, I think you'll understand very conclusively why we develop the software the way that we do. And just to give you a little information on that, we have been developing this specific software for approximately 14 years. So it's a long time, and we've never deviated. We're not jumping out building other tools or anything like that. We just build what we need and we keep going. Okay. So the order suite. Of course, it is NinjaTrader 8 compatible. It's designed to increase time efficiency by utilizing multiple semi-automated entry and exit. We're talking a lot about this today. So automated entry and exit methods directly from a drop-down menu and/or menus, which is located on your chart. Bracket orders, break-even trigger lines, and our unique, what we call our entry zone, they're all easily toggled directly from the menu. Additionally, orders may be submitted to any market from any chart. We call this, potentially hedging. It could be something different, such as to say, if I want to analyze the S&P E-mini, I don't know if any of you know anything about, myself or what we do, but I'm predominantly an S&P trader. I love the S&P. It's my go-to. So I use it in a lot of my examples. So for example, in this example, if I wanted to trade smaller sizes, right? Maybe my account size is smaller, hypothetically, right? Simulated or otherwise. And I want to kind of downsize that, but I really need historical data, or, I just love the E-mini. I don't know, whatever the case may be. But ultimately, we can, in this case, take orders, never leave the E-mini chart, but have them all submitted to the micro E-mini. Now, some of you astute traders out there might be thinking, well, that can be done via trade copiers. I would love, love, love to have a conversation with you to help you understand the difference. When you do that, you are basing things on price value, okay? And if you know anything about what just happened yesterday, for example, the NVIDIA earnings and their announcements and so on, please take time, go back and just look at the discrepancies in price action alone. Okay, so the price values, I am not comfortable, this is just an opinion, but I am not comfortable utilizing a method like that. All right. In other words, I'm not going to do, cross orders, whereas to say if I'm trading, the S&P, cross that order over to the micro S&P. It sounds like that's what we're saying, but trust me when I tell you it is not. By using our trigger line method, we can do this from the E-mini, but it has nothing to do with the literal price value, the number in and of itself. So we're not crossing orders over, doing anything like that. And the more, the more experience I get between and betwixt the micro and the E-mini and so on, folks, I would just really encourage you to go out and see. There are, the longer it goes, the more discrepancies you're going to see between those futures contracts, which we would think they'd be the same, right? But they're not. Okay, so there will be, ticks upon ticks from time to time. They'll be very different. So price values will change. Okay. So again, very, very important distinction there. We are not crossing over. We are handling those very differently. So again, reach out to us. I'll be happy to have that in-depth conversation, but that is a little bit more advanced. So yeah, just don't want to spend too much time on that. So order labels can be managed, submitted, adjusted, all of the above, anytime. Orders can be submitted using a default method, which is the standard, if you will. It's essentially the way that NinjaTrader the infrastructure, if you will, it's the way that their orders are managed. Okay, so we can absolutely accommodate that, or we can also accommodate what we call our trigger line method, which makes the orders that are being submitted not visible to level 2 data. I would say that's more applicable to short-term traders. Okay, it can be very valuable. Especially, if you talk about sweeping stops or market makers and so on and so forth. So a little bit of a different approach. Okay. Now, second, We're going to talk about our zone suite tool. Also, of course, compatible with NinjaTrader 8. It's designed to reduce subjectivity and increase time efficiency by automating a plethora of tools on the price chart. Some of these tools include multiple time frames, supply and demand zones. Remember earlier I told you that we, of course, do utilize supply and demand zones and or levels. Continuation patterns, perceived value grid, we call that our altitude grid, market structure, multiple, trailing stops, trend identification, trend lines. You can see I could go on, right? All of this is being automated and done for us. So it's a plethora, as we just stated, of tools built into a quote unquote suite. So it's just one tool, it's just one, PFA suite, right? And then all of these tools are inclusive. All right. So they can be used for enhanced confluence purposes and for keeping track of historical data, which is fully back testable. Very, very, very important here. The PFA order suite, the one we previously discussed, right? So if I go back a slide, we're just talking about the order suite. This is an order management tool, folks, okay? This is applicable to any and all trading strategies, regardless of what it is. When you get into the zone suite, this is more applicable to supply demand traders. They like their levels, and or any of the plethora of tools that I did mention, among others as well. Again, we'll be happy to have that conversation with you. But what I want you to understand is the order suite is included in the zone suite. So it's not like you have two totally different tools here. You have different tiers and or levels of the tool. Okay, so they're both considered the PFA suite. Your bottom level, I shouldn't even say that. I mean, ultimately, one level is your order management. The next level is your zone suite, which is inclusive of the order management. Excuse me. Okay, so in the trade management, this is going to be, the order suite in and of itself. Yeah. So we have a ton of featured highlights here that we want to go through. I'm going to go through them pretty quickly because we're going to get out to the charts as well, right? All right, so first I want to touch on the fact that it has a quick access menu, intuitive menu accessibility, and adjustable order labels, which we'll look at in just a moment. But ultimately, I don't know, I'm trying to come from this, or rather at this from a place of humility. I want things to be extraordinarily simple. I don't want complexities. Everything that we do, not just from software standpoint, but from trading, from our strategy, and or reading the market in general, everything we do, we want it to be simplified. And again, I'm practicing humility here. If I didn't do that, I don't think I would be able to do this, frankly, because it can be so complicated these days. And however you want to shake a stick at it, either my IQ isn't high enough, or ultimately it's just too many mental hurdles to jump over. So we always try to simplify things, not make them more complicated. Okay, so we want to be able to do this on the chart very promptu. Okay, so not wasting time. I literally just want to click a button and have things done for me. All right. So as we continue forward, those are the order labels in which I mentioned. Note on the order labels, actually, let me go back. We'll come, I could touch on this again in a moment, but I'll just go ahead and put the cart before the horse, so to speak. If you notice on these labels, it contains a lot of data, and some of it can be removed. Of course, if you don't want to have all of this, you can remove it. But ultimately what it does is it overlays all the information, such as to say the amount of contracts or shares or lots or whatever we're trading, depending on Forex, equities, futures, and so on. Is this a long or a short position? What's the market, the value, risk and reward, both in currency and ticks, and the account that it's going to be submitted on. You might be thinking, well, that sounds weird, right? Why would I need to know these things, such as to say the account and the market that's being submitted to and on? Well, because it's so advanced, we have the ability to never leave a chart, and we can submit orders to any market. Now, this is not just, I used the example before of going from the E-mini to the micro E-mini. That was just an example, folks. This is nothing that I would literally never do this. I mean, I don't think so. I can never see a case scenario where I would want to do this. But if I did, and again, you all may be far more intuitive than I am, and to some degree, and maybe you say, hey, at this point, if the E-mini, S&P does this, I may want to do something on gold. I mean, I just really don't know. But ultimately, the software in and of itself has that capability. Okay, so we don't have to leave a chart. We can have it submit not only to any market, but we can also utilize multiple accounts within the software too. So this is something that I mean, every single day I'm using this, but I am submitting orders to multiple accounts from the same chart simply by using the order management tool. Okay. All right. So I really want to look at, and I've highlighted, if you will, the scale in and scale out uh, of open positions. Okay, it's very one of my favorite things. It is a huge component of my overall trading strategy. So as you can see, how simplified we've tried to make it. What you're looking at right here, I think you can see my mouse, but what you're looking at is this up here is going to be shown. I'll take you to the live charts in a moment. But this is going to literally just be sitting on the top of the NinjaTrader chart, any chart. It could be, you can put it on as many charts you want or as few, doesn't really matter. But ultimately, this is just across the top of your chart. I guess I should say it's the top left of my chart, but you can change the location if you want. You can put it in the middle, the bottom. You get the point. Anywhere on the chart, you can actually move it. But I always keep mine in the top left. So that's neither here nor there. Okay, so this is a very simplified user excuse me, a UI, okay, user interface. So we have a buy entry. We've toggled it on. We simply apply a check mark when it's enabled. We remove that and we toggle it off when it is disabled. Okay, so again, very simple. We have here this feature called add to position. Now that's going to allow me to scale into positions. So theoretically, I could be going into a long setup, and maybe I want to dollar cost average. Oh no, he went and did it. DCA, he went and said it. I'm joking, of course. With prop funds and stuff like that, we always want to be aware that dollar cost averaging is really not something that we would want to do. And I believe there's a lot of regulations per different prop account and all that stuff. So all the joking aside, at the end of the day, though, we have the ability to scale in and out of positions. Now, to be clear, okay, what I predominantly use the scaling into positions for is I am not technically dollar cost averaging negative positions. I'm averaging into winning positions. So, if I'm in profit, for example, and I've moved a grave distance, then ultimately I can come in and say, okay, I want to add another contract, but I want to do that at a very specific location. So that's all, of course, based on our methodology. All right. I just want to be clear about that because, the prop funds, they're very clear about not DCA is what they call it, a lot of them, but ultimately just dollar cost. So you don't want to add to losing positions, right? I think that's what they're saying. Makes sense. I don't think it's a good idea unless you're long-term trading, but that's neither here nor there either. Okay. All right. Now here we have something a little bit different. This one says remove from position. So this is going to be the scale out feature. And I'm going to go ahead. Here we go again. I'm going to put the cart before the horse. And I'm going to tell you that in the version that we're about to release, we have yet again made another implementation of making the software as intuitive as possible. So for example, if we're into a winning position, I mean, it could be winning or losing, it doesn't matter. But if we're into a position, the software will intuitively recognize if I'm using that scale out as a target or I'm using it as more of a trailing stop. So therefore, it will recognize that, and then it will pull from what we've required or specified in our settings. So let's say I've said I want certain things to be limit orders, I want certain things to be market orders, so on and so forth. So it's going to intuitively recognize that and handle it accordingly. All right. I realize this may be a little bit more advanced, but I promise you, if you just stick with us, like I said, we'll do as much training. Just go out to the YouTube channel alone and you'll see what we try to do on a daily basis. Okay. All right. Very good. So let's keep going. This is what I told you earlier. I was jumping ahead a little bit, but this is the risk and reward. You can see we track that both on a currency as well as a tick and or pip value. Okay, so those are all inclusive on the labels. We can toggle those on or off at any time. We have a plethora of things here, but let's notate these three things that I just mentioned moments ago. So, you remember how I said that it would intuitively recognize what side of the market you're on? Are you using this as a target, or are you using it as a means of utilizing a stop, right? Like a trailing stop of sorts. So in the image here, I have them all set to market, but we can actually specify what we want to do with our entry orders, our stop orders, and our target orders, right? So we have a not just one. We don't just say, oh, well, it's all or nothing, like limit orders or market orders. No, because I want them to be different. I'll give you an example. Me personally, I love to use limit orders, right? But I don't want to use a limit order for my stop, because ultimately, if I say I'm wrong, get me out of the trade no matter what, even if I have to take, and adhere to a couple ticks of slippage. I'm okay with that. What I'm not okay with is not getting the stop order filled at all. Okay. And then, that can wipe out accounts very quickly. So a lot of things that we could kind of go into there. Actually, you know what? Let me backtrack. I'm sorry. I want to focus on this right here, because this is where we're about to get into, and I'm going to move as fast as I possibly can. Semi-automated order entry types. I told you earlier to listen to the tonality in my voice. I am so passionate about this. There's so many bells and whistles in this tool. I literally don't think that there is a single person out there utilizing NinjaTrader 8 that cannot benefit from this tool. Now, of course, is that a true statement? No, I don't know, right? Everyone's a little bit different, but it just comes from a place of passion. I do believe that it would be most advantageous for you. Why do I believe that? Because I couldn't do what I do without it. Let me just put it to you that way. Okay. I could not do what I do without it. We can literally hedge against it. Bracket orders, break even, trigger customization. We can close out positions, which that's not a huge thing, but we want to have it in there anyway. We can attach OCOs to an open position. So if we get stuck, we lost internet connectivity, our power went out, whatever the case may be, all we have to do is then go back in. We have the ability to reattach an OCO to an open position, right? We have this really cool thing. I'm not going to spend too much time I don't want to sacrifice too much time here, but we will. And there's also tutorials on our YouTube channel. We have this thing called the entry zone. It actually dictates where you're willing to place orders. So I could say, hey, I want to take an up bar entry, right? But if it's not within this specific area, don't take it, right? It has to be here. And at that point, take it all day long. But if it's not inside of my entry zone, which is user specified, then don't do that. Okay. So we can, as I said, trade any market from any chart. Multiple accounts. We can trade multiple accounts. It amplifies trade copiers. It essentially doubles what a trade copier can do, right? Because we have two order menus, so we can set one account and one menu in our primary, and then another account in our secondary. Okay, so thereby, amplifying the prop funding options. All right, let's keep moving, folks. So here we go. This is our PFA suite RBR DBD semi-automated entries. Now, when I say semi-automated, here's what's happening behind the scenes. This right here, okay, this label over here, I know it's very difficult to see, but it says DBD and then it gives an exact price value. We use those for entries, okay? So these are literally what we submit our entries on them all day long. But what we can do is we can go up here into the order menus, and I can specify an RBR or a DBD entry, and the software intuitively starts looking for it. It's like seeking that out. So if one doesn't exist, okay, there is no trade. So I can go here, I can submit the order, but it's not going to do anything until I get that RBR or DBD. At such point, it's automatically going to submit that order, and then all I have to do is manage it. Okay, so again, it's taking the word efficient, I think is probably the best, word that I could use there. Makes my life way more efficient. Okay. So again, semi-automated. The next that I want to look at is our supply and demand semi-automated entries. Now, what this one does is probably what you're already thinking. But ultimately, once I go up here, I could say, okay, I want to take a demand zone, right? Well, price is already moving, and perhaps we're just, waiting, or what have you. We deemed the direction to be very strong, very bullish of a day. Great. I want to take a demand zone. So all I have to do is go up here and toggle on my demand zone. At such point, the software is going to be seeking those out. And when a demand zone does indeed come to fruition, the software is going to automatically submit that entry. Now, remember, it's only going to do that if we've submitted it first, right? It's not, going to go out and do it for you. You want to submit that entry because you're the one making the choice to buy demand zones. But once you do that, again, there's really nothing more to do other than manage the position in and of itself. Okay. So, yeah, so we'll keep going here. Let's see, we talked about the PFA suite. One other thing I want to bring your attention to is that event. Now, I'll be direct with you. We scheduled this event for the 2nd. I have had some, business things come up. I'm potentially might be out of town on business. So worst case scenario, we'll do it. So this is Monday. We typically do them. I mean, I think we've done like 3 already this week, but if you just go ahead and, subscribe to the YouTube channel, or I would strongly encourage you to, let me do this. Where are you? There we go. Okay. So if you all register here, we will send out invites for everything we do. Please look, remember, it's fine. It's free. I'm not trying to hit you with some sales stuff or whatever. That is all free. So you can join our live sessions, watch us trade. We'll go through software training. We'll go through all kinds of good fun stuff and spend as much time as you all would like. I will tell you one of the great things. We have some amazing people in the community. And if you like jokes, come prepared. Okay. Because oh my goodness. I think today alone they hit us with like, oh, it's so amazing. One of the individuals hit us back to back with like 5 jokes in a row. And I'm here to joke and have fun, but ultimately it is a good it's a good community, a lot of great people there. Okay. So currently we do have this set for 9 a.m. on September 2nd. I just wanted to let you know it is very possible that we might have to push that out a day or two, but no worries, we will get it done, and we absolutely and thoroughly look forward to it. Okay. So here we go. I'm gonna throw this out there. And of course, we're here. We have to do the sales pitch. Okay. So I'm going to do it anyway. And what I'm going to tell you, we have this, these questions all the time. We don't discount our pricing. We do it because, NinjaTrader is just a wonderful, trusted resource of ours. When we work together, we like to provide, aspects to their audience as well as ours. But of course, I'm just trying to let you know, we don't do this as often. As a matter of fact, last year we didn't. We may have had one or something outside of an event like this. Okay, we don't typically do holiday discounts. We don't do much of that. I'm not trying to push it on you. I mean, just look, at the end of the day, if you've wanted it for a while, now's the time to probably grab it. Okay, in this case, if you want the order management, great. On the left side, I mean, it's $239.20, folks. It's not a very large number there. If you want the zone suite, it's $559.20. So you can get that with the discount code here, and just input Ninja, capital N, by the way. And in addition to that, we're going to give you 2 bonus indicators that we've created. We don't even put these out there. Again, folks, we're focused on the tools. that we've been in development forever. We just do these as bonuses, just because we find them to be advantageous. And when we do, we just kind of throw them in there as bonuses. So we're not going to charge you for this at all. We'll provide you our tab selector as well as our bar timer for free. It does go a little bit further than some. Okay. And then lastly, if you want to join our community, you can join for the year. You see I would say what's included here. I'm in respect to time, I'm going to just kind of let you go back and review this via the recording. But please, I know the recording often goes out a little bit late. Everyone's busy, folks. I totally understand, right? So here's what I would tell you. If you want to take a screenshot or whatever, or just simply throw an email to us, we will be happy to get you this information. It's not like you have to rush out and, buy it today or whatever. We're going to do an event, okay, and give you all the time in the world to ask any questions that you have. So we're not pressuring you into this. I'm simply trying to tell you that I want to move a little bit faster. So I don't want to sit here and read through every little thing that's included. Okay. But suffice to say, we're going to break the pricing down from $19.99 to $15.99.20, and or lifetime from $49.99 to $39.99.20. Okay. All right. Very good. So here we go. We're going to get out to the live charts. Oh my goodness. I love to have this fun. I'm going to bring down the chat. I will be now happy to answer any questions that we have. And I will be happy to show you what we did today. And anything, folks. I mean, at the end of the day, like I told you, we're a community. And although, everything we do is for educational purposes only, we've always taken such a stringent educational format. And, again, the years pass, we get older, we learn things we didn't know before. It just, the markets will humble you regardless, or it will humble me, I guess is what I could say. And so over time, what we are transitioning into is just, hey, let's just go do this, right? Now, to be clear, we're doing it. There is at no time the allowance of anyone copying, or, we never go down that route. That's prohibited from a regulatory standpoint, and we would not want to go there. We are here to share and do and just be a part of a community. You ultimately are responsible for your own, decisions. But at the end of the day, we thoroughly enjoy being able to do it with a community, because trading is a lonely business, right? Okay, so let's just dive in real quick. I'll tell you this morning what we stated in our room this very morning. I could go back to yesterday, but I tell you what, just if you go out to the YouTube channel, you will literally see our trades from yesterday. So we were shorting the market here. We've shorted the market here. We've shorted the market here and here. We actually bought the market, as crazy as that may sound, after the NVIDIA situation came out. But yep, absolutely bought the market here, pushed price up, closed price out here, and then quite literally turned around and shorted the market today. That is on YouTube as well. So it's a fun ride, I got to tell you. But the way that the markets are functioning these days, it is insane to me, and it's almost hard to even fathom. But the reality is they're functioning at this like extremely high level, exactly as they should, which is unbelievable to me. But they are, right? The difference is they're doing it, 10 times faster. So we have to be, acutely aware of what's going on at all times and be able to predetermine this analysis and get ahead of it. But yeah, so anyway, we've had this. If you go out onto our YouTube channels and things like that, you'll see all of this stuff. We had this level sat out there literally weeks in advance. In fact, if I go back on that day right there, we were looking for price to return here. We wanted to be the buyer there. You get the idea. That is why we actually bought the market yesterday after NVIDIA and all that good fun stuff, late earnings. But yeah, we were, we try to stick to our methodology. So like I say, I don't, just come watch. That's it. Let's have some fun together, and we'll go from there. Okay. So we talked about our order management tool. again, very passionate about that. I believe it is applicable to any and all. Understand that I have gone through absolutely, maybe 5% of what's really included here. I just simply cannot do it in 45 minutes or less. Okay. So if you'll go ahead and register with that link that I just provided, just register. It's absolutely free. If you do that, you will start getting invitations to our events. And at that point, there is no time limitation. You have questions, we answer them. We stick around. We do, I mean, there are times we do 3-4 hour events. I mean, don't get me wrong, it's not ideal, but ultimately, if we have people coming in wanting to understand things, then, we're going to do that, right? Okay, so right now, if I wanted to go in and buy the market, I could do that at any time, wherever I wanted to. I can adjust, adjust anything and everything. I can reset. I could go in and sell the market, submit back to a buy. I could submit a DBD entry. If you notice, it locks itself right onto that DBD entry. Conversely, if I submit an RBR, it locks itself directly to the RBR. I will talk more about the entry zone. I'll talk about all this stuff, but I got to get you in the environment in which I have more time. And I apologize for that, but I want to respect the ecosystem as well as your time. Okay. So let me get through some questions and then we will conclude, because Patrick has been kind enough to sit through this and just kind of bear with us through it all. Okay. So thank you, Patrick, by the way. I appreciate that very much. Been working together a very long time, by the way. It's a great guy. He's a great guy over there. So I don't know if any of you know him, but yeah, he's a great guy. All right, let's see. The PFA order suite will it work with Indian stock indices and so on? Listen, as long as you get the data in the NinjaTrader 8 platform, it will work with it. So yes, as long as you're getting that data in your platform, in your NinjaTrader 8 platform, absolutely. Okay. How do you determine supply demand zones? I can't answer that. It's a loaded question, really, because there's not one quick answer. We use a quite literally a plethora of different algorithms. We combine them to conclude the information. But here you go. On top of that, we actually adapt. This is where it gets crazy. We actually adapt those algorithms as well. So even if I were to tell you the algorithm or the algorithms, it would still change because they're dynamic in nature. So there really is no direct answer to that. Of course there is, but because I could then go on and tell you how they adapt and all this good fun stuff, but I don't want to be, I'm a fairly direct person and I will just tell you, of course, that's not something that we're going to go into for proprietary purposes. I'm so sorry. I don't even like using that word, but that is, it is what it is. 14 years in development, folks. I mean, you understand. You wouldn't go out and give it away either, right? Okay, so yeah, going over charts, William, I'm happy to, I love your name, by the way, William Love. So I would be happy to go over anything that you have, suffice to say, if, given time. Oh, Harold, come on, be nice, man. I thought we were learning a webinar at a sales pitch. As I told you, I tried to move through that pretty quick. And as I have been very explicit, come to the events, there you go. All right. So we have some, let me just skip over these people. They don't deserve my time. All right. So let's see. There we go. Yeah, William, absolutely. Are we going to go over trading? Yes, please. As I said, review that. I did post a very quick, I'm just from compliance purposes, I'm not allowed to post every link, because you have to run through compliance with all that stuff. But if you just go click that link, you'll see that there's a ton of videos. You'll see that there's trading and so on. But when we go into our live streams, you're welcome to ask any questions that you have, and I'll do it right there in real time. We'll submit our trades, of course. I mean, it will all be done in real time. Yeah, absolutely. I just can't do that. Folks, please respect the time. I cannot do all of this. I can't introduce you to a tool. I can't introduce you to everything and then turn around and do it all in 45 minutes. So I would kindly request that you respect that as well as we do. Okay. Yeah, it does, Mike. Thank you for asking. The Zone Suite does have the order suite built into it. No need to purchase both. Absolutely. Thank you so much. I appreciate. See, even I'm getting a time notification here. 4 minutes left. Don't want to push the envelope there. Appreciate that very much. Brian, thank you so much for your kind comments. Listen, I'm going to end on a great note here. We are quite literally on the 5:15 mark. This has been 45 minutes. As I said, I wish I could do everything for you all. I can't. But if you get into our YouTube channel, if you get into the, just sign up for the newsletter. And I am telling you that we will do everything in our power to do everything that you are all requesting. We just, we didn't have enough time today. So definitely. All right. So God bless you all. Have a fantastic rest of your day. And I look forward to seeing you in the near future.
All right, thank you very much for that, Will. Thank you for taking the time to present that with us and share the information here. If you did enjoy today's session, we hope you'll join us for future webinars. Follow us on social media for alerts about upcoming events and other NinjaTrader ecosystem news. And last but not least, of course, we'd like to remind everyone the information provided here was that of Pure Financial Academy and not of NinjaTrader. All information was for educational purposes and should not be construed as trading advice. Enjoy the rest of your day, and we hope to see you in future webinars. Happy trading from all of us here at the NinjaTrader ecosystem.